Yes guys, what's going on? Mixed by Jocelyn here and welcome back to another Mixed Up, the show where I show you how to mix down tracks on Logic Pro X. And today I'm going to be showing you 3 tips to get the most out of your Pro Q3 by FabFilter. Let's go. Okay, so if you're watching this video, you probably already have the FabFilter Pro Q3 or you're thinking about buying it, and I can't recommend it enough. It is a fantastic plugin. I do a show called Mixed Opinions, and 90% of the guests that come on there, when I ask them what's their top 3 plugins, the Pro Q3 is always in there. So I have a tune here called Keep You. This is a song by me, shameless plug.
Promoting my business.
The link will be in the description. It's sort of like a chill, experimental, lo-fi, EDM track. Ugh. Yeah, I know it's a madness, but yeah, I'll give it a little play now so you can get a listen to it. You get the idea. But basically, so we have the Pro Q3 pulled up here, and I'm going to show you, just like any other EQ, you can pull down Qs, you can do low shelf, high shelf, all of the different options over here, and use it like any other normal EQ and be very, very detailed with it. And the amount of Qs that you can load up is almost limitless. There's 3 different tips that I'd like to show you so you can get even more out of it. So tip number 1 is the dynamic EQ feature. Basically, dynamic EQ is where you'd create a normal cue within the EQ, just like you would do with any other EQ. I'm saying EQ too many times, but that's gonna be the theme of the video.
Oh, I know. How about the EQ Warriors?
But then you can also set it to hit a dynamic range. So it's almost acting like a compressor for that particular part of the frequency. So every time it jumps over a threshold, it's going to knock it down. Any annoying frequencies that only happen every now and again in the audio recording. So let me show you how to do this now. So what we'll do is we'll just grab any old cue, like this, for instance, and we can narrow the cue, change the gain of the cue, move the frequency around just like any other EQ. But then what happens is if you go over to the cue point and you hit this arrow down here, you can then go make dynamic. And then it basically creates this shadow underneath it, which then we can move. And basically where this is set is where we're setting how much reduction we're gonna get from the EQ when it raises over this threshold. So that's acting as the threshold line. And then this is how much it's gonna push down as it goes over that. So I'll play the record and you can see it working. So you can see it every time the audio file goes over that threshold, it's pushing it down. So if you're working on a vocal, for instance, it's be fantastic for de-essing, any sort of annoying frequencies that are popping out, you can dynamic EQ them and get rid of them super easy, super clean, super simple. A fantastic feature. And honestly, I use it all the time. Brilliant, brilliant feature. So that's dynamic EQ. The next feature I want to show you is called freeze mode, or I believe it's called freeze mode. That's what I call it anyway. It's basically where we can take a screenshot of the analyzed audio file so we can work on it in much more detail and make precision adjustments to the EQ using that screenshot. Now, a lot of you will know this one, where it goes purple as you hold the cursor over the analyzer. And then as you pause, it holds. But the annoying thing with this is as soon as I click on one of these frequencies that are popping out that I might want to adjust like this, and I let go, it disappears, right? But there's another way of doing this where if you let the record play and then you hold down your left click on the analyzed section, it will turn blue. Now this means this is in freeze mode and I can click and adjust as many points as I want in the EQ without it disappearing. And as I play through, it will just continue to adjust all of the peak frequencies that are popping through, and I can let go at any time, pause the record and do any adjustments that I need. So I can do multiple adjustments to the audio file at once. Super, super, super clutch mode, and I use it all the time. And when I found out about it, I was like, God, mind blown, literally. Like, I was probably using this EQ for about 2 years, not even joking, before I realized that it could do this feature. I think I saw someone doing it on a video once and I was like, I need to figure out how they done that. And yeah, ever since then, it's been just a super, super quick time saver and, a brilliant, brilliant feature in the EQ itself. Now, the last tip I'm going to show you guys is MidSide EQ. Now, if you haven't heard of this technique, I might already have a video on it before. If I do, I will link it below. If not, let me know in the comments and I'll happily make a video on the MidSide technique and all of its use forms. But this EQ is brilliant because unlike other EQs, it allows you to process both the mid and the side in the same EQ. Other EQs like the stop logic EQ, you have to permanently set it to either mid or side. So you don't end up having to have two different EQs next to each other with one being processed in mid and the other one being processed in side. This, you can do a combination of the two, which is brilliant. So I use MidSide technique for if I'm working on a 2-track and I want to open up a pocket of the frequency to allow the vocal to sit inside it, i.e. removing some of the mids from that frequency and then spreading it out on the side so we're not losing that information. It's just getting wider and allowing our vocals to sit in the mid of that frequency. Brilliant use form for it, and that's just one of many that I use it for. But let me show you how to do it. So we can come here to our cue and we can just pull down, again, any old cue that we like. And right now, this is in stereo, as you can see here. So if you go down to this section of the cue, which is basically the control section of that particular cue, if we make more, there's different control sections. So we have to highlight the one that we want to edit, and then we can come to where it says stereo, click that button. It gives us all these different options: left, right, stereo, mid, side. So we can change this to the mid. And now everything in this section of the frequency, the mid is being removed by 6 dB. And we can play it and you can hear the mid of that section is being removed. And then if we want to, like, say the use form that I was describing earlier, where we create a pocket for our vocals to sit in, we can create a cue exactly the same on top of that, plus 6 dB, and we can hit sides. So now we're taking out the middle of that particular frequency by 6 dB, but we're pushing it out and adding it to the sides. So we're not actually losing any information. We shouldn't be losing any volume. It's just being shifted to where it is in the frequency field. So we can play that. So as you can see, that's just 3 different tips there. We have dynamic EQ, freezing the EQ, and MidSide EQ. The Pro Q3 offers so many, but for the sake of this video, I just wanted to give you guys 3 of my favorite tips. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you have any questions about the Pro Q3 or any other use forms that you can use it for, let me know in the comments. If you guys have any like secret tips or any other use forms that you use the Pro Q3 for, let me know in the comments. I'll check them out and maybe I'll make a video on it. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe, leave all the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Safe.